So, I'm a beatboxer, and for anyone who doesn't know what that is, I do like drums and bass and other weird instruments that you would hear on the electronic music with my mouth. So, and this is also kind of weird because I've never tried to film for TV before, and it's really weird talking to cameras, and then the cameras talk back, and that's just not, no. But anyway, what it is I'll sit here and I'll do and a lot of other stuff with my mouth. I started about 3 years ago with a friend named Riddix. He was beatboxing for like the local high school choir thing, and so he was like, dude, you got to try this. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. So he taught me boots and cats, which is what usually people start with anyway. Boots and cats, really simple. It's and then from there, he's like, develop your own beats, make your own beats. And I was like, all right. So I started coming up with things, you know, just simple little things. And he was like, well, that's interesting. But, you know, you should really try using something called throat bass. And I was like, well, what's throat bass? And then he goes, and then so after about 3.5 weeks of really trying for that, I figured it out, and it took forever to get it down. But the end product kind of ended up sounding like this. So, anyway, that's how I got started, and so, yeah, it was kind of fun, and now I've developed to a point where I kind of go around and I try to showcase myself everywhere because, you know, I'm that prima donna type of person. But really, though, I enjoy beatboxing, and so I've gotten to a point where, you know, I've developed my own style, and I have all my own little tricks that I like to use, and so hopefully I have enough to make a really, really long set for you guys, and hopefully I can remember and do all the things that I can do today. So let's get started. So that's kind of an example of some of the things I can do. One of the things I've been really messing with has been a fun new sound I got. Well, I didn't get, I learned. So anyway, and it kind of sounds a little bit like this. And I can go different tones, different heights, and I can do a lot of other things with it. And this is one of the things I've been working on with it. Man, I'm getting out of air. This is hard. So that's one of the fun sounds I have. That's one of the fun grooves I get into way too often. I don't know. Let's see. I do a little bit more dubstep stuff than I do anything else, which involves a lot more than just throat bass and, you know, all the other stuff. It really involves, like, just messing around, and so I don't really have anything practiced for it. It's just kind of whatever comes to my mind. And so this is, I don't know, my attempt to do a dubstep. So here we go. So that's kind of what I do. I don't know. I guess a lot of it is like making it up on the spot and knowing what sounds good. So anyway, so figuring this all out was kind of fun, and then figuring out a name for myself was even more fun. I kind of worked really hard at like figuring out a name, and eventually I came up with the name Rhythmics because I thought, like it's a rhythm thing, and I mix it up, and and I also kind of based it off of the guy who taught me. His name was Riddix. My name ended up being Rhythmics. It kind of fit. But it's been a lot of fun figuring it out, and I don't know. Getting a name has been really fun because instead of being that annoying guy over there and hey, shut up, it was really great to be an actual like artist. So that's been fun. Right now I'm just performing local stuff, and I have a long ways to go if I want to go anywhere with this, but I don't really know if I want to yet. It's just been fun to have this as a side thing, and obviously I'm going places with it because this has been really, really fun. But I don't know. Some of the other things I can do is I can try to layer things, and I think I'm up to about 4 or 5 that I can do. Layers is where you have multiple sounds and sets going at the same time, and so it takes a little bit of mental focus, and I can kind of do it. So here is 3. We'll start with 3. Okay. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So that's layering, and so it gets really complicated because you'll end up doing 4s and 5s, and oh my gosh, the mental focus is crazy. So there's only so much you can really talk about though with layering, because literally it's just like, hey, how many things can you stack up on top of yourself, and eventually you get to too much and you're like, I don't know how I did it, I forgot. So maybe I'll do 4. Let's see if I can count to 4. I don't know. I'm not so good at counting, so we'll figure this out. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Let's see what do I do for 4. We'll do this. That'll be 4. Okay. Ooh, I already messed up. My bad. So 4 and 5 get really, really hard and really, really weird for me, so I don't know that I'm doing as good as I could, but that's okay. Anyway, I don't really focus so much on layering, because layering is all about being impressive. My thing is, how many sounds can you do? Well, I can do a lot of really fun things, and some of them I've been doing since I was like 3 and didn't know that I was beatboxing, so there you go. One of the fun ones I can do is I can do a lot of Star Wars noises, and so that's kind of one of my things is I go for a wow factor when I beatbox. It's not like, oh wow, look at all those things he can do at once. It's like, oh wow, he's got a lot of things he can do, but not at once. And so this is one that I like to do. It's kind of like Star Wars-y kind of thing. So you'll hear me do a lot of like Star Wars sounds. So here we go. So that's kind of like my Star Wars set of sounds. It's not as, I don't know, it's pretty good, I think. I really enjoy doing it. People seem to like it too, so when there's like an audience, they're like, ah! I'm not used to cameras like waving their hands at me like, yeah! Weird watching cameras like react to me. They're like, whoa! But another thing I can do that's really fun is I can sound like multiple sets of cars, which is kind of fun. Especially when you're 3 and your grandparents are like, "Wow, you sound like a car," but you don't really take it seriously because you're like, "No, I'm 3. Like, I don't sound like a car." Like, no, don't patronize me, Grandma. But then you find out as you grow up, like people are like, "Dude, you sound like a car," and you're like, "What?" Like, okay. Anyway, so this is my car. All right. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't actually have a car. I'm borrowing my grandpa's, so my car doesn't start. So give it a sec. Should I grab some gears? And I can also do a different one. And so that one's more like my Subaru. This is going to be my like muscle car. This is the one that everyone wants to own, right? So I'm just trying to figure out how to work that into a beatbox. It doesn't flow as well. I mean, I guess I could do something kind of like. But it doesn't flow as well as I'd like it to. So that's work in progress. Anyway, let's see. I don't know. It's always just fun just to mess around and see what I get. So, I mean, I can do a bunch of different type of vinyl scratches, if anyone out there my age still knows what vinyl is. So, obviously, vinyl is, what people used to record to, and they used it in the 90s to make sounds like... So... those are all those things that I can do, and I can do kind of like 90s music with that, so I can sit here and be like... kind of like, if I was rapping for somebody or if I was beatboxing for a rapper, my bad, then I would totally have that for them. But then they would kind of be like, oh, that's great, man. Just hold the steady beat. And I'd be like, what? Beats? No. Beatboxers don't hold beats. So I guess that's actually pretty much all I got. That's all I can do. But I think before I say that that's all I can do, I'm gonna do one last final stand. This is everything I can do. So hopefully I keep my socks on, because if I do that, then that's gonna be great. Okay. Speed section. And after you build something up, you want to break it down. Excuse me, like a frog in my throat. Okay.